And hi, and welcome to the Markeisha Hall podcast. I'm your host, Markeisha Hall, parent empowerment partner, IEP coach, and I have with us a very special guest, my BFF that I met in Clubhouse. Actually, I think I met your brother first in Clubhouse. And we just clicked, and I wanted to have him on the podcast so we could just have a chat. Noah, thanks for being on.
No problem. To everyone, my name is Noah. I am from Grand Rapids, Michigan, and I have been an expert when it comes to education for a while. As you can probably hear via my voice, I have cerebral palsy. Affects my muscles quite a bit. But I really wanted to do this because I want people to be aware of the school system and what happens afterwards, and all that good stuff.
Right.
As we all know, people without disabilities get a golden ticket, sort of, when they have good grades. So I just want to talk about that today.
Okay.
Hopefully get some answers that, people might have questions to, and hopefully help a lot of people along the way.
Right. Thank you for that. Well, for some parents or people that are listening to the podcast, they might not be familiar with cerebral palsy. So you want to just give us, what does that mean?
So it is caused by a brain bleed, which is it's one of those things where there's so many different versions, but it's caused by a brain bleed, and your muscles get extremely tight, and you have trouble walking and all good stuff. I have to have assistance walking, going to the bathroom, all that good stuff. My dad does it every day. Didn't get paid for 21 years, so I always say to him, no, he's my home health person, so now he gets paid, thank goodness. But it's just your muscles get tighter, and makes it more difficult to talk a little bit. So,
Well, growing up, I know we kind of had several conversations before, but growing up, in the school system and just in the community, how was that? How was that for you, growing up in the school system? Tell us about your experience, a little bit about your experience with that.
I always thought I was the odd person out. I always thought that I wasn't a regular student, so to speak, and it always felt like I was in the outside looking in. After middle school, I was in a mild GI classroom, and as you probably know, that probably wasn't the best spot for me. I am one of those talkative people who gets to know the people who put me in these programs, and I'm like, why would you do this?
Right.
You didn't really have an answer for me, and so it's kind of bothersome at some points. Because you don't know why they are doing what they're doing.
Right. Because Noah's brilliant. He helped me on the Zoom right now. Okay. I didn't even know. We were on another platform, and he was like, let me walk you through it. So basically what I heard you say was that just because you had a physical disability, that they put you in a certain type of class from growing up, just because of your physical disability.
Yeah.
Terrible.
It is. Hopefully we can fix that through my next project, which we'll talk about soon.
Right.
I'm working through it, and obviously at age 22, almost 23, I'm still working through it for
Right.
the next generation so they don't have to deal with all of this crap.
Right. And that's what I loved about when we connected is that you're not just thinking about yourself, you're thinking about people that are going to be coming,
Yeah,
behind you and making things better so we can make different connections.
there is a reason for another civil rights movement for disability people.
Hmm.
And I hope it happens
I,
because
I know it's going to happen.
we we need our voices to be heard, and
Absolutely.
if we don't get the word, then yeah, it's just gonna go nowhere.
Right. So what does what I want to say? What does a day in the life now that you are into adulthood? I think we kind of talked about the things that are available for you to experience now as an
Right.
adult, and what does that look like for you?
Adult, well, it's pretty boring, let me tell you. Um, since COVID hit, it's been
Uh-huh.
the same thing over and over. But
Right.
I can give you sort of a schedule, which is wake up, look at my phone for 2 to 3 hours, and then go downstairs, watch some TV, probably sports. Excuse me.
That's okay.
Probably sports.
Uh-huh.
And then I eat lunch, do all that stuff. And then throughout the day, there's 2 or 3 bathroom breaks.
Hmm.
The biggest struggle, though, for me, and this is one thing that I think all parents sort of struggle with people with disabilities, is transferring from one chair to the next, because my blood flow throughout my body is not very good sometimes.
Okay.
So I'll go from sitting in a chair for 9 or so hours
Hmm.
to then going to bed for how many hours I go to bed for, and then doing it all over again.
Hmm.
So it's a cycle, right? And what happens is, um, you might have the occasional issue with you don't know what's going on with their body, and all of a sudden you'll have to go to the bathroom or whatever. I would say that's one issue that I deal with every day is, hey, I gotta get on my chair,
Hmm.
gotta tell somebody, hey, here's what's going on. But I never really do. So here's the advice I have
Hmm.
for young parents
Okay.
is that make sure your kid is comfortable. Make
Hmm.
sure you ask them questions, because sometimes they won't be able to. Maybe they want to verbalize it, but they just don't want you to move them because they feel like it's bothersome or something, like you're in a hurry at work or something like that. But we need to be better at saying, hey, we need help.
Right.
So, and a typical day, I'm pretty good with that. But sometimes I'll sit in a chair for 9 hours. So it's bothersome, and pain comes, and like pain and stuff like that. It's not very fun, but you gotta deal with it. So,
Well, you said sports. Let's talk about that a little bit. What sports? Because my husband told me that I can't talk to anybody that's not a Saints fan.
well, funny enough, I'm a Detroit Lions fan, right? So I have to go through all the losing every year. Yeah, I have to go through all the losing every year. Um, well, I'm also a huge baseball fanatic. I watch probably every game of the Tigers and some more games if they're on. So, which sometimes takes about 5 hours a pop, but it keeps me distracted from the
Oh,
real world. So, I love it.
that's what my
So,
husband sits around and does a lot. He's a Cubs and Saints, and the boys play lots of sports. I thought I was going to have all girls, Noah. Have
oh
one girl
no, oh
and three
no.
boys, and she didn't even do ballet and tap like I thought she was. She plays volleyball.
Oh, at least you got one.
Yeah.
I have 2 sisters. By the way, I didn't say this in the intro, but
Oh
I'm
yeah.
triplets. So, I'm a lucky kid, and I also have my brother around. So I am lucky to have two sisters. One's sort of one of those constructive criticism people, the other one's going into special education, so she understands a lot of the battles. My sister does have mild CP, so she understands the fight with it. I'm in luck, really. I have some great parents and a great family around me, and one of these days I just want to do a podcast with just them, which would be great. I think that people learn a lot. So when we get to that, I'll talk about that part of the piece of the puzzle that keeps the glue together sometimes.
Right.
When we need it, and family's a big part. So,
well, tell me a little bit about your support group. I had the opportunity to join in a couple of times, and just tell me what was your inspo for creating it, and who's invited, and how can they get to find it, and what's it about?
first of all, the backstory of my support group started junior year of high school. No one really knows this story, but
Yeah, I was about to say, I didn't know that. I thought it was just
high school. I was thinking about this because there's so many people who have gotten to know me but never have asked questions or anything like that. This is a, quote, disability support group, but you could really just swiggle the disability out and put support group in it, because my expertise is I've lived in an able-bodied world for 22 years. I don't converse with lots of disabled people throughout my day. I probably should, but that's not what I do. So this support group allows people from all over the United States, even across the world, to come in and talk about their struggles living with a disability. Some have ADHD, some have other mental disorders, some have CP. It's been a complete honor to do this. And the backstory behind why I started it was because we had a links program in high school that put a regular student with us for one class period. And I had like 2 or 3 of them. And I kept wondering to myself, what would help these people feel more comfortable? And so I related to these people about what they wanted to do in their life. One wanted to be a missionary, so I helped her get to that point a little bit. My job as a human being is, if you have a goal, I'm going to help you get there.
Right.
Because my goal is your goal, and whatever your goal is, we're going to get somewhere. Because I feel like that's a big thing. People are so self-serving these days to the point where they always think about themselves. And now my whole thing is to change that so people who need help can get the help with my disability group. So back to the whole story. The reason why I started it was so people could get the information they needed to get to where they need to be. And it's sometimes we talk about movies, and sometimes we talk about sports. We don't just talk about disability. So that right off the bat is kind of fun. It's sort of like a 2-hour discussion on just life in general. I mean, we're not as different as people think.
Right. Just connecting people. Because I enjoyed talking with you guys, and I appreciated even being invited. So it is more inclusive. That's what we're hoping, right? That it just is a disability group or just able-bodied groups, that we just start talking to each other.
Yeah, it's like, I'll mention this word a lot too. Tribalism is my biggest issue. And that's what I want to end. Tribalism in my own life is such a thing still, to the point where people don't even know how to hang out with me or what to do or what activities I like. That needs to stop.
Yeah.
And so that's the goal of my next project. And we'll get somewhere with it, I hope. I already have the first 5 episodes or so planned. So we're ready to go. So
I can't wait.
So, yeah.
So tell me, I know that you and your brother did some work with, what was the group, the political?
It was Bernie Sanders.
Bernie Sanders.
Yes.
Bernie Sanders. Yeah.
And
You're also getting into there. You're just all over the place.
It was probably the busiest I've been for a 10-day period.
Mm-hmm.
I actually, one of the leaders of the group lived in Iowa. She just moved to Texas, and I got back in contact with her and said, I have a project for you. So she's going to be a guest on my podcast, and we're going to do like a reunion special as soon as she has time. As a person who doesn't look at distance to be friends with somebody, I thought that would be the perfect example of here's who I am. And we're going to talk about our friendship even afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Because she only knew me for 9 days, keep in mind. And how many people know me as well as she's gotten to know me. So it's going to be fun. And I look forward to that episode a lot. So we're going to have fun.
Can't wait. Yeah, I think that's the thing too, is that people, since in school, I think I was talking about this with my friend Jennifer the other day, in school, it's very separate. So if we start at school, that's kind of where you first meet your first friends and things like that. And if those don't become more inclusive, then the opportunities are less the older that you get. That's what I'm seeing and hearing.
Right, and here's what I did with Bernie. People would walk through the door. They would look at me funny the first day. I would say, hi, how are you? And they would look back. They would look.
Right.
Where did that come from?
Right.
That's the reaction I get all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So they got to do every single day the same people walked in.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like a family,
Yeah.
9 days. So it's always fun. It was fun. I wish we could have traveled, but stupid COVID hit and then he dropped out. So it was kind of. Here's a fun fact. As soon as Bernie ended, 3 days later, the state of emergency hit. So March 13th, under shutdown. March 10th, Bernie ends. So that is literally the last thing I did besides the doctor in the last year.
It's, you know how I feel about that. I'm waiting to go somewhere. I'm
crazy.
To go somewhere.
Yeah, you're ready to go on vacation already.
I'm going on March the 22nd. I'm looking on my calendar.
Where are you going?
We're gonna go to Cancun.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we're gonna go to Cancun. We're out of here. We're gonna be safe though, because I know some people are gonna be judging me, Noah. But
how many days are you gonna be there for? How many days are you gonna be there for?
Just 4 days. Just 4 days.
Oh, yeah. Short little.
The high schoolers got to get back. They're only off for 1 week for spring break. But this isn't about me. I'm a guest on your podcast. You're a good host though, because you done got me talking about.
Hey. Yeah.
I can't wait till it comes out. So tell us just where can they find you if they want to get into your support group? What does someone need to do?
They can email me at Noah's support group at gmail.com. They can also reach me at Noah Hamm He at gmail.com. The reason why I give out both is because I have both connected. So me through both, I can contact you through both. And if you want to just get to know me, you can email me through my personal. And I forgot to plug this earlier. I have Instagram at Noah Hamm that you guys can go to. If you guys want to direct message me and whatever, that's another place you can get to know me, because that's sort of a professional account. I don't really have pictures of myself on there. It's mostly quotes as of right now. Mm-hmm. So we'll go live on there one of these days too.
Yes,
so
yes we will.
I think that those 3 ways to get a hold of me are probably the best. Okay. I use all 3. You can. So I want to possibly get my website up, so I'll keep you updated on that. It's most likely going to be one of those professional / personal websites where, we get my support group stuff on there, but also blog posts and a bunch of stuff out there that people can see. And maybe once the COVID thing ends, we'll get some friends to come over and even record a day in the life when people come over and hang out. It'll be really fun, I think.
I'm heading out there. We listen to Beyonce.
People need to know what it looks like to hang out with me, because people don't really see it. Yeah. They don't know where to go. If people just took me to a baseball game, I'd be happy, it's that simple. Take me to get some food.
Right.
I eat a lot. Right. And I'm still 115 pounds. So, my metabolism's still kicking. I'm lucky, but,
lucky. Wish I had.
It just needs to sort of be normal to see people with disabilities out with their friends and stuff. And it is a pleasure to be able to go on a platform like your podcast and say, hey, here's what we need from people, to help us out.
And I think that it's just about connection. You have things that are in common, or just, we haven't met each other yet in person, but we will. But just, having a connection, I can't wait to hang out.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good idea, doing a day in the life, so that people, I want to say that people are more, they just are afraid of the unknown, kind of.
Yeah, my sister actually did one for a special ed class. It was just a bunch of questions and all that stuff. What does Noah do when he eats? How does he, get around and all that stuff? Right. And one thing I learned from that experience was people need to know more. Mm-hmm. My best friends are my sister's friends because they hang out with me so much.
Right. That's just Noah.
That's just who I am. Right. So if people just ask me questions, said, hey, what is living with a disability like, plus this, plus that? Because trust me, it's not just cerebral palsy, it's depression, anxiety, all that good stuff wrapped up into one. Right. So it's the more contact I have with people, the less depressed I am. Because if people reach out to me, it means they care.
Right.
And sometimes I hear from 0 people a week besides family. So you know what that means? To me, no one cares, which I know is not true at all. But in my mind, that creeps up.
Yeah.
So, my goal is to say, hey, even to my friends who know me really well, let me reintroduce myself.
Right.
This is who I am, I've had friends for as long as 12 or so years that still don't know who I really am. Mm-hmm. So it's, you put yourself in a shell a little bit and say, this is who I am. I'm always happy-go-lucky, which is true. But there's a different side of me, too, that goes through some challenges.
Right. Well, I'm glad that we got a chance to talk. We're not going to give the people all the stuff this first time. We're going to have a part 2 and 3 and 4. And maybe not, because you're going to probably save the good stuff for your podcast. So I'm going to wrap it up. Is there one thing that you want to leave the people listening with before we wrap it up?
One thing I want to leave people with, and this is going to be a long-winded wrap-up, but the thing that I think people with disabilities need to understand is they can't give up hope. There's a lot of things that tear us down, but there's a lot of people who care about us and love us. Some of them know us, some of them don't. Some of them don't even know what we look like. Right. Some of them are just regular people on the internet looking for friends. Don't give up that hope that someday you'll be fine. You'll find a group of friends. Hopefully, you'll be able to wrap your head around what's going to happen next and say, I'm lucky to be who I am because of the right people around me. So I would say that's the biggest thing that I can leave your audience with, is just in general, don't give up hope. There's somebody out there to be your best friend. There's every single person is out to find something, and we have to find that a friend or group of people that'll help us get there to our goal, I
love that. Well, we're going to say goodbye to the people, and thank you so much for listening. Go ahead and subscribe and leave a 5-star review.